Welcome to part 5, where we're going to continue again on family relationships, and after we'll begin to speak about reincarnation. Excuse me. One thing that you can do to try to overcome these kinds of problems that we've been talking about in the previous session is to try to find forgiveness in your heart for your parents, or in fact for anyone, if you feel that they've wronged you in any way. You should make the effort to be the best son or daughter that you know how to be. Make the effort. Make the effort to have better thoughts toward them. Speak kinder words to them and about them. Make the effort to realize and remember that your higher self chose them as your parents, and that it does not make such choices without good reason. You should realize that without these people as your parents, you would not be and could not be the person that you are today, because the person you are today was in part determined by these parents and your association with them as you were growing up, or with the people who raised you, whomever they may be. The same can be said for the relationships and the difficulties that you experienced throughout your life. All of these things have played a part in helping you to determine the person you are today. And you could not have become the person that you are now without the contribution that all of these factors together have made. Excuse me. There may be times, depending on the needs of the personalities involved, when parents and children may decide to reverse their roles for a particular incarnation. Whether or not your parents in this life will be your parents in the next life will be decided by your higher self and their higher selves, depending on how well all of you have done in living as parents and children, and how well you were all able to resolve the problems and difficulties you encountered in this lifetime. As stated, it's even possible that you could be the parent and they could be the child or children in a future life, in order to help you both see things from each other's point of view. If you can deal with these difficulties in such a way that you remain as blameless as possible, by trying to always do the right thing, take the high road in your dealings with others, then from a cosmic point of view, you may be able to successfully complete your portion of the karmic interplay with them. If they're not blameless, then they may need to go through these same difficulties in a subsequent lifetime, but probably with someone else. That is, if you were able to successfully deal with your part of it. There are many possibilities. There's not much that anyone can accomplish by worrying about such matters. You would be far better off indeed to use your energy to try to do the best that you can in the situations that you encounter in living each day. And that's what we come here for, to live each day. You will find that to be far more productive than worrying or being anxious. Now, there may be situations that have occurred in your relationships at one time or another that have caused feelings of regret on your part, especially if you realize that perhaps you may not have done the best that you could at some of those times. Believe me when I say that you're not the only one who has had such feelings or who has made such unwise decisions in relationships with others. Almost everyone has had similar feelings and experiences. Simply try to do the best that you can to be as blameless as possible in each situation. In other words, as previously indicated, always try to do the right thing toward the other person. Despite your efforts, these situations may not always work out the way you hope they will, but you should try to always do your best in matters of this kind. When we choose unwisely, and we all do at times, we should learn from those situations also, all that we can. In addition, we should correct them if it's possible and reasonable to do so, and then move on. Continuing to dwell from past mistakes after you have learned those lessons and taken that into account is not a particularly worthwhile way to spend one's time. You correct the situation if it's possible to do so, you learn the lesson, and then you move on with your life. While we're on this subject, however, please allow me to suggest that in addition to being the best son or daughter that you can be to your parents, that you also try to be the best brother or sister that you can be to your siblings, the best father or mother that you can be to your own child or children, and the best husband or wife that you can be to your spouse. All of these things are important, but the latter is more so today than ever, considering the rate at which couples are separating from and even divorcing each other. If you try to do the best that you can to follow these suggestions for your parents and your siblings, and then also take the same approach with your children and your spouse, and frankly, why not to everyone with whom you have contact, then no one should ask more of you than that. Remember, however, that trying always to approach others in this manner can at times be extremely difficult, if not almost impossible, and we do not succeed every time we try. But trying your best can help to make you a better and more understanding person in your dealings with others, and I can assure you that your sincere efforts will be well received by those higher unseen forces who always take note of such things. Who knows, perhaps others with whom you come into contact will observe and follow your good example. Our world would certainly become a much better place. We've talked implicitly about reincarnation already, and since we've already launched and touched on the subject on the concept of reincarnation, let's now take the time to explore it further in a more direct manner. Reincarnation is a word that may have different meanings to different people. Although most would agree that it has the general meaning of being reborn into a new and different body after death in this life, the similarity in our understanding of the subject often ends there. The majority of people in some societies believe that there is no such thing as reincarnation. They believe that we are born once, that we die once, and that this is the end of our total existence on the physical plane. Others believe that reincarnation means that we may return in the body of a lower life form after death as a human being. Perhaps we would return as a cow or as a monkey or some other similar life form. Still others believe that there is so much to be learned from our life experiences on this physical plane and the lessons of life that are associated with these life experiences, that it is virtually impossible to learn all that we need from a single lifetime or incarnation here. Because of this, those people believe that we, on a higher level, therefore, make the decision to return here again and again as necessary until we have learned all that we need to learn from living in this physical material existence. The speaker agrees with the latter school of thought, as you may already have surmised. We, at a higher level, do choose to return here as necessary, and when we return, the tendency is toward a continuing process of evolving to higher levels of human existence and understanding, not that of returning to become one of the lower animal forms. Although the author very much respects the beliefs of others to the contrary, I cannot justify in my own mind and heart such beliefs for myself. It is not my purpose, however, to persuade any person away from their existing beliefs if they are happy with those beliefs and content. Each person should follow that which is truth for them in such matters and allow others to do the same. These videos are made for those who are seeking greater understanding because they can no longer accept and believe in that which may have been truth for them in the past. Excuse me. Some will say that truth is truth and can never change. There are many people, however, and the speaker is among them, who believe that the only real truth is that all truth is relative. What is true for children may not be found as true for young adults as they grow up, and what's true for the young adults may not be true for mature persons with years of life's experiences behind them. As the years go by, life has a way of changing our perspective so that many of the things about which we were so uncertain when we were young, we understand with confidence in our later years. On the other hand, many things about which we were so certain when we were young become such that we must later re-examine these so-called truths in the light of our many years of living life's experiences. That which is truth to us when we're young may not continue to hold up as truth under the scrutiny of the brighter light that often comes with additional years of living as we grow older and gain in our experience and hopefully in our understanding of this life. That same concept, that our perception of what is true may change, however, which holds true for us in the physical life, can be just as true in our spiritual beliefs as we grow in spiritual understanding also. The results of such spiritual growth can bring about far-reaching and very positive changes. There is an aspect of the higher part of ourselves that some call the soul personality, or the higher self. This part of us, through many incarnations of spiritual growth, gradually unfolds like the petals of a beautiful flower, perhaps a rose, manifesting ever greater beauty as its innermost parts slowly become more visible. This unfolding process allows the beauty of the inner person, the higher self, to manifest outwardly more and more as that person, through many lifetimes of right thinking, right living, and making right decisions, continues to advance and grow spiritually. This outward manifestation should not be interpreted to mean outer physical beauty, but should instead be thought of as the beauty of the inner person, showing itself more outwardly through a manifestation of the more universal aspects of love, compassion, tolerance, and other humanitarian thinking, among other things, that begin to be more visible outwardly as a result of the life experiences of that personality that have begun to bring about noticeable change in positive ways. Thank you for watching. Now in part 6, we will continue on reincarnation. Again, my thanks.